Hi, folks. God bless you, and I hope everybody's okay. I started a few months ago TrumpNewsInternational.com. It's an online newspaper to encourage free speech. So it needs developing, so I'll be updating it soon. So this is a kind of news report on Anne Widdecombe. First of all, my thoughts on Anne Widdecombe. What a tragedy. Broke my heart to hear that she'd been murdered. And our condolences go to the family and friends. It just doesn't bear thinking about. I think all of us have been in shock. Just complete, utter shock at her death. Absolute terrible. Absolute terrible. She was a feisty character. She stood to her guns. She didn't back down. She was a woman that stood her ground. She was a Catholic, and she stood against gay marriage. And she loved a good debate. She was a debater at, I think, Oxford University. She had junior posts in Parliament. She was well respected, even though many people would disagree with her. She was a character, and after her retirement in politics, she endeared herself to the British public. She was an amazing character, and I think everybody would agree with that. And she had charisma, and she was forthright in her beliefs, and she was respectful, and she loved a good debate and discussion. Anyhow, I want to just say a couple of things about this issue of the authorities are telling us not to speculate. It's interesting that when the authorities want to speculate, they will speculate. The police often, and the Prime Minister have often, and political hacks at Parliament have often speculated about certain murders and riots, and speculated before anybody is convicted, and poison the well. But on this occasion, the British public are not allowed to speculate. The media are not allowed to speculate. I think there is a cover-up going on. The reason being, the first thing is we were told that she'd passed away, which was strange. Then we were told she was murdered. So why weren't we told straight away she was murdered? So that was strange in itself. But then it gets stranger. Then a man was arrested nearby, and on every channel, like clockwork, it said that it was a white British national. Now, why would you say that? Why would you emphasize that? And they said it's not a terrorist attack. It's not a terrorist incident. Then the man was released. So how did they know it wasn't a terrorist incident when the man who they arrested, who they said it wasn't a terrorist incident, had been released? Then it turns out they arrest someone else who's lives 300 miles away in Rotherham. And again, they put out white British national, the same spiel, and it's not a terrorist incident. And then lo and behold, the terrorist organizations and the anti-terrorist group are involved in his second arrest of this chap, but it's not a terrorist threat. And then lo and behold, it gets even more stranger when they said Anne's murder was reported by her carer. Turns out she didn't have a carer, and then it was reported that her gardener. The police put out it was her carer, and then the police put out it was her gardener. She hasn't got a gardener. So forgive me for talking, but I think there's something going on here. I think this is a cover-up. It so happens that there was a Muslim group meeting, about 10,000 down, I think, is it down south somewhere, and it was cancelled early because they've just arrested 13 far-right activists and a woman. This is not an accident. This is to poison the well of something that's going on, that if the public find out, it will absolutely shake the foundations of the country. So what's going on? Why isn't the police giving more information? Why is the police given misinformation? The government have a right to, by law, to withhold any information that is going to cause major disruption in the country. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to tell the police to do that. The Prime Minister has a right to do that. It's a law they brought in not so long ago. And so I think that the Prime Minister has used that power to suppress what's gone on with Anne Widdecombe's murder. There's something going on here. There's something very, very serious is going on. We're told that not to look, not to speculate, yet Parliament are very worried about their own security. MPs are very worried about their own security. So it's telling you something, that they know something that they're not telling us. I think that it's highly likely it was a terrorist attack. It's highly likely that if the information gets out, it's going to rock the nation. So as much as they can, they're suppressing the information. That's the only conclusion that I can come to at the present time. And I think, again, the authorities, because they are censoring the situation, they're making it worse. And they're creating speculation. They are creating this situation. Rather than being upfront about it and being honest about it, they've already made a number of statements that are factually incorrect and misleading to the British public. So that's my take on it. I think they can try and stall it as long as they want, but the truth will come out. When we find the name of the person, then people will do their own investigation, and then we'll have the truth. But somebody doesn't drive 300 miles down to Anne Widdecombe, does a brutal murder, and then drive back for no reason. That shows somebody of ability, mental agility, mental ability, and forthright thinking. So yeah, so we've had misinformation by the police. The police and the authorities are gaslighting the British public again, treating the British public like children. And I think it'll just blow up in their face bigger than they've tried to suppress it. So check out TrumpNewsInternational.com. Eventually, it'll be up and running properly over the next few weeks and months, and it's to defend free speech. So those are my thoughts, and take care. God bless. We have Speaker's Corner review tonight at 8:30, so check in for that. God bless you all, and take care.